Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast. I am Ron Pashery, columnist for TJRWrestling.net, here with my good friends once again, Alo, Aaron Lloyd, Mr. Sexy Punakana, from 2012 to indefinitely, CK and Joe Rottermill.
I'll leave you alone this week.
I like it.
Yeah, the reigning undisputed.
The milkman.
Yeah.
When you're beautiful, it doesn't fade.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't fade.
You're aging like a fine wine, I will say that. I've known you for what, probably almost 30 years?
Yeah.
You look even better now than the first day I laid eyes on you.
Yeah, he does.
You're so sweet.
But we're going to start a little different tonight, only because I think the biggest story in the wrestling world was the TNA Impact Wrestling Final Deletion.
Brother Nero.
The battle for the Hardy brand, the Hardy name. A lot of discussion about it in the internet wrestling community. Best ratings they've gotten since they went to Pop TV. God only knows the last time they got ratings that big. Hopefully for them, they stay up in the aftermath. But I'll start with you, Aaron, because I know you have a vested interest in both of these guys more so than any of us. What were your feelings on the Final Deletion?
I remember last week when I asked you, did you like it? Is it good? You couldn't give me an answer.
Yeah,
After I watched this, I couldn't give you an answer either. Because,
So confusing.
because there is a lot of detail in this. A lot of bad, a lot of good. Like details such as the referee driving the compound. And it was like, what the hell?
What about Matt always referring to him as official?
Yeah.
Also, I thought was great.
like I liked it just because it's different. Like nowadays, wrestling fans they take everything way too serious. Just like have fun. It's different, and it clearly got WWE's attention because they did the same thing. But there was a lot.
I think somebody on this show said that was going to happen, right?
Someone with a full beard facial, you know.
Yeah, like there was a lot of detail. Like some stuff was just like obnoxious, like the whole drone coming in and
That was
What
crazy.
about the hologram?
yeah, that I was like, oh my god. That point, I almost turned it off. At that point, I was like, no, I can't watch. And then I just found it real funny that Jeff is chasing the drone on a dirt bike, and he almost killed himself on a dirt bike.
Yeah, almost drowned himself. So I'll actually make a point I made either last week or the week before about Lost. How my brother-in-law and I argue all the time, how he says Lost is the worst show ever because he didn't like how it ended. But I say you can't take away all the enjoyment we had of it for literally 6 years when the show would end and we'd be on the phone talking about it for an hour. You can't retroactively. You can't. You can't retroactively.
Did you see that?
You can't retroactively go back and unenjoy something you enjoyed. So maybe you can't say for sure if it was good or bad, Aaron. But you can say, did you enjoy yourself for the 17 minutes you watched it? Were you entertained?
It wasn't a waste of my time.
Okay,
which most people say, like the low down, low no.
Hey, low.
I owe him 17 minutes of his life back.
Yeah.
But it was different. It was fun. It was, like I said, some things were just completely obnoxious, but some things were good. A lot of detail was put into this. Like, I just find it ironic that Jeff, who's wrestling with a torn ACL, is doing a swanton out of a tree.
Climbing a tree.
Climbing a tree with a torn ACL. Doing a swanton out of a tree, then climbing the Hardy symbol.
Onto a ladder.
Climbing the Hardy symbol and falling off of that. It's like, I'm like, this guy is, like, there's no, like, pro wrestlers need more credit. Because this guy's wrestling with a torn ACL for months. Yeah. He's just wearing a brace. He's doing swantons and falling off, stuff like that. A lot of detail. WWE played it safe because this got positive and negative reactions, so WWE played it the safe way. But
better production value too.
Yeah, that too. Like the Willow thing and fighting in the lake and the fireworks is obnoxious, but you have to take it for what it was. It was different, and that's what it was portrayed as, something different. It was something fun to watch.
Yeah, Joe, what were your thoughts on it?
I was kind of on the other end of the spectrum. I was kind of one of my 17 minutes of my life back. I looked at it from an acting.
You said you only watched it because you kept seeing it on Facebook, right?
Well, I did, and he was pushing it, and I was like, I have to watch it. I really do. There were some entertaining elements. I'm not gonna lie. I like the wrestling aspects of it. Maybe when they're shooting.
Aaron's a great promoter, by the way. For anybody who doesn't know, he's been hyping up Main Event for months. Probably the only reason I ever tuned into an episode of Main Event is Aaron. He got you,
got me to watch the Final Deletion.
Yeah,
with Brother Nero.
Can we delete Eric?
Well, he's still suspended.
Delete, still suspended. But like, I wasn't totally entertained by it. Like the flying drones. It was like a cheesy sci-fi movie come to life. The acting was atrocious. It just made me want to throw up in my mouth. With my acting background, I have a reason to nitpick about that. A little nitpick.
Couple nitpicks.
But I mean, some of the wrestling aspects of it were entertaining, and I mean, in the one time when it ended up being his butler that was in the
Willow.
He thought he pinned Brother Nero, but it wasn't. But like even the ending, like you talking all loss, does the ending justify? The ending was kind of atrocious too. The way he just like jumped off because it caught on fire.
I like that because it's like Matt's life kind of flashed before his eyes, and then Rebby handed him the
gasoline.
The gasoline.
I'm sorry, like a match or whatever.
Yeah, match or whatever.
It was.
Lit it on fire. I was like, that was great detail. His life flashing before his eyes.
Well, because he said earlier on, he said she came up with the gas can, and he said spread this, somewhere around, and it just happened to be he knew he was in the gasoline field.
By the way, Lita greater than Rebby Scott. By the way.
Yeah.
And I have another confession.
Okay.
Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
I watched TNA last night.
Because of this?
Yes.
And how was that?
It wasn't bad. The promo wasn't bad at all. Matt kind of said that he was going to terminate Jeff's TNA contract, and then he tried to walk away. He's like, no.
Yeah, you can't go.
No,
Mister.
You're not going to leave TNA and go to New York with McMahon.
Did he even brought up McMahon?
Yeah, he said McMahon.
Yeah, he brought him up.
He mentioned New Japan. I was like, oh my god, this is not that bad.
I will probably watch it on demand at some point just because I did want to see how they followed it up. So my thoughts are, like I said, I don't know. I can't say for sure it was good, it was bad. There were parts of it that were good, parts of it that were bad. But I give them a lot of credit that they, at the very least, they captured my attention. And you both know I'm not somebody who ever watched TNA. It's not like I was like, oh, let me see what those guys are up to now. I've never watched them. And that was the first time I ever was like, you know what? They had Kurt Angle. They had Mick Foley. They had Hogan. They had Flair. The only thing I ever watched on TNA was Black Machismo and a little bit when Lethal was Flair.
It
Nothing
caught my
else.
attention too. I mean, it caught a lot of attention from wrestling fans all around.
Yeah, some of the stuff that was bad about it though was part of what I enjoyed, like how Matt's accent changes every sentence. It's a different type of accent. I don't know if he's just really bad at doing accents or if he's really gone that in depth with the character that it can't even keep a consistent accent.
I think it was the latter.
Probably just as not good at accents, but
it'd be nice to think
it could be
that he's that deep. But
yeah,
I mean,
it could be another layer. I think he really committed to just being an absolute maniac. I liked that there was no announcing. We both know WWE, a lot of times the announcing brings the whole product down.
I prayed that WWE would have a commentary on that. And then it's same thing. It felt like Mortal Kombat, the way it started. I enjoyed that part. That it wasn't really a match. It was more of a fight.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like I said, some of it didn't work. Some of the camera work made it a little bit hard to watch.
Or maybe when Matt destroyed Jeff's yard.
Yeah, well,
and
WWE
emblems on the front.
Right. WWE. This is what my column was about this week. I really think WWE has gotten to a point where that show has looked exactly the same for so long, and they're really the only game in town. And every other smaller promotion is just a less expensive, not quite as well produced version of the same show. They're all trying to do the same thing. So I give TNA a lot of credit for taking a chance, taking a risk, doing something that they probably knew some people are going to hate this and will look like a joke. But some people may look at it and say, oh, that was kind of fun. Because it was like you were watching a movie. And Vince McMahon has said for how long? We're making movies here. And TNA did just that. Also, I don't know if either one of you heard Billy Corgan on Vince Russo's podcast maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. They got into this huge argument about Vince Russo is so hung up on guys like Ric Flair. You believed it was a real fight. Guys like Bret Hart, you believed it was a real fight. I haven't believed it was a real fight since I was 8 years old. Bret never made me believe it was real. HBK never made me believe it was real. I was just invested because I liked what they were doing. I never would get lost. Like, oh wait, this isn't a real fight. So I don't need to think it's real. That's why I don't care a lot of times if you don't sell every little thing. Sometimes things are going to happen that aren't realistic, just like in a movie. But Billy Corgan said, I think we're at a point where people know so much about the wrestling business you can't attract fans the same way you used to because nobody is really buying into it. Everybody thinks they know everything. He said you either have to go even more realistic, where it almost becomes the drama is what's actually going on in the business, or you go further away from reality, make it more fantasy, and then people know they're watching something that's not real. And I think that was, case in point, that's exactly what they did. I mean, that Willow ends up being Senor Benjamin under the man. It was, the whole thing, I think, really went away from reality. And I think that they benefited from that. At least they have a direction now.
Well, back to you were saying, bro, you cannot sell to me, bro. that fat freaking Kevin Owens, bro, and that taxi driver, Sami Zayn, bro.
Taxi driver.
Really, I can beat up Sami Zayn, bro.
Do you like that Kevin Owens actually played into that on SmackDown this week? He had a Jolly Rancher in his pocket. He got buttered popcorn all over Jericho's scarf.
That was so funny. He was like, "You gotta get this clean." And he gave him all these coins. He poured over the coins.
Yeah.
And he missed them, and then he was like,
"They're telling me that it's a fight. They're telling me that there's a history there."
But the best
Russo
part,
can say what he wants.
The best part of that Jericho thing with Owens was he put all his change in his hand, and he missed some, and Jericho says,
I need another quarter, right?
I need another quarter.
I love that he would know that he needed just 25 more cents, too. Would get the job done. Some people would say, well, TNA, I give you credit because you got people talking about you. You got some interest. You got at least one out of the three of us watching the show the following week. I'll probably watch it at some point before the end of the week.
I read about it.
Okay, so there you go. 3 people that have had at least some engagement post the final deletion. I wrote about it,
Whether the final deletion is a good product or a bad product, at the end of the day, they drew attention, and that's all. That's publicity. No such thing as bad publicity.
Exactly.
That's enough TNA. Back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. So the Wyatts basically copied that with the New Day. I was actually disappointed. I thought they could have. Well, clearly the production value is better.
Yeah, and they played a little safer.
But I don't think that they did what they could have done with it and what they should have done with it.
A lot of times you couldn't even tell what was sort of going on, who was fighting who. I know there was one spot where they threw the pickaxe in the wall. I was like, well, what happens if you just miss that by even like how do you?
And the idea that Bray really wanted to kill Woods with a pickaxe.
Like, okay, just because you're at the compound, you can murder people now.
Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same as me. I felt like if this is at the Wyatt compound, if there's any time the Wyatts should look completely dominant and terrifying, it should be there. And I know the thing ended with, the fireflies and the buzzards or whatever surrounding them, but it's not like the Wyatts dismantled the New Day. And I felt like that's
a little bit there, maybe in the middle they were, and then
and then
sort of kind
New
of
Day
back before it was.
I felt like there should have been more at stake for the New Day being at the compound than what there actually was. And now it just ends up they just are going to have a 6-man tag at Battleground, you said, right?
Yep.
So did WWE succeed on topping the final deletion?
No, because, well, like I said, they played it safe because the Wyatt family and the New Day, they're mid-card levels in WWE. The Hardys, they're on the upper level in TNA, so they pretty much have control of that whole situation. And then they're going to give the Wyatt family and New Day that same amount of time as the Hardys got, even though the Hardys had an extended version. The regular version was, 11 minutes?
Yeah, it was 11, and the other one was almost 18, I think.
Yeah, and then how the New Day was I knew it was
I don't know,
shorter than that. But
8, 9?
Yeah, like maybe 10 at most.
I wouldn't even think it was 10 minutes. But,
at most.
Yeah, but no more than 10 minutes. But I already knew they would play it safe because of all the reactions, positive and negative, that the Hardys one got. But it succeeded in what you said last week is you want the Wyatts to be scary. Because it had the way it started with the little girl with the shoe mask, that was perfect the way it started. The way it started. It was shot perfectly with the screen going in and out all the time. Shot like a real horror movie.
Yeah.
And the one thing I think they messed up on was at the end of the match, or whatever it was, fight, whatever you want to call it, Wood should have got abducted then and taken instead of just thrown in the car and bashed the windows.
Yeah, I thought that he wasn't going to take him there when they threw him in the car.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the way I thought it was going to play.
Yeah, they should. That's how it should have ended. But I don't mind it because it ended with the New Day just staring at each other, and now we'll get some follow up probably on SmackDown and Raw next week, and it's kind of like Woods is like explaining to Kofi and Big E. This is what I saw in the Wyatt family. This is why I've been terrified the whole time. And now Woods and Biggie and Kofi, they see why Woods is probably afraid because they
had to fall in line a little more.
Yeah, because they were like in awe of the Wyatt. They didn't know what to do because they were in that compound and the ending shot with the fireflies or whatever and everybody in the sheet mask overwhelmed them.
Yeah. What about you? Did they top Final Deletion?
I wouldn't say top.
Did they equal it?
I would say. I mean, it was better production, which does a lot for me. I didn't expect too much out of this once I heard about it, and I guess they didn't maybe exceed my expectations, but they didn't let me down also. So, I mean, I guess I had low expectations to begin with, so it kind of hit the mark.
Okay. I think that they came short of Final Deletion because...
Yeah, I would say it's short of Final Deletion.
Yeah, they could... Especially, they're capable of doing so much more, and they just were not willing to try to do more.
I think they just play this out over 2 shows.
Yeah, they just did the least amount they could do with it. And I do think... I agree that they showed, okay, the Wyatt family is scary, like that final shot. But I just feel like they should have, like you said, they maybe should have abducted Woods. They should have, I feel like the New Day should have really paid a price for going there, and they really didn't. All it is like, oh, yeah.
And the show was like, they should have.
Yeah, they should have paid more of a price for going there, being willing to do it, and paid off how scared Woods was of them. But now we can move on. Some people would say the biggest story.
You're kind of handcuffed by the PG aspects of it, too.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but like I said, I think it's just because of that time restraint, and then they're not going to give that segment all that time. That's the one thing, and they had to play it safe because they don't want all this negative reaction like the Hardys got. The Hardys got like a 50-50 reaction on it. A lot of people, you hate it, I liked it. They can go back and forth.
Yeah. Some people would say Brock Lesnar was the biggest story in wrestling this past week. Congratulations, Brock, on winning at UFC 200.
Tearing it down.
Yeah,
Beast.
it was not the most exciting fight I've ever seen. I don't know if either of you watched it.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was just wrestling, basically. He just kind of took him down and stayed on top of him for 3 rounds.
That's a scary thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Hunt, I'm sure, did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was even close to his most entertaining fight. But the guy didn't fight in 5 years. He fought a legitimate guy who's been knocking everybody out. So I give Brock credit for going in there, doing that. And it's good for WWE now. Now they have a guy who just won a UFC fight they could promote at SummerSlam.
I think a couple more weeks of jiu-jitsu, you'd be ready to challenge.
We'll see.
My thoughts.
I may be calling out the Beast Incarnate.
Throw your hat in the ring.
Yeah, I may drop my feud with Austin Aries and turn my focus to Brock Lesnar at some point. What do you think about him going up against Randy Orton at SummerSlam? Did that do anything for you or no?
I like it because I'm a Randy Orton fan, but I think there needs to be more build up to it. There needs to be more. It just seems like a name thrown out there. I think there needs more.
I agree with that. What about you?
This is 5 years too late. Because like Randy Orton, he hasn't done anything for me in a long time. Like he's not effective on the mic.
He hasn't been on TV in a while.
No, I'm saying this would have been attractive 5 years ago when Randy Orton was actually something. Even since 2013, he hasn't been anything. Well, 2014, he hasn't really been anything. He just wander around doing nothing. And to the point of Randy Orton, I didn't like the dirt. Like I like that it's Randy Orton because we haven't seen it except for a throwaway match 14 years ago on SmackDown or whatever it was. The names mix, but currently it doesn't go well together to me. I originally thought he was for Rusev because Rusev was being built up too, and then my other person I thought he would fight if it wasn't Orton or Rusev was Chris Jericho, because with like let's say if Lesnar lost at UFC, Jericho can cut promos on it, even if Lesnar isn't there for the whole match. Jericho could cut promos. Randy Orton
could cut promos too, even with a win.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. No matter what, Brock wasn't going to be there, but Jericho would have been there and to cut promos and get heat.
Get some heat behind the match.
We're going to get Orton on the highlight reel at Battleground, but it's like I don't think Randy Orton's that effective on the mic anymore at all, and I don't know what kind of heat we're going to get to this.
Do you think Brock ends up there that night or no?
Not that
Battleground.
Night.
I don't think so.
Not that night.
Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants.
He does. He said that. He made it a point to tell everybody that.
I feel like you'll have Randy Orton talking a lot of crap, and then maybe you'll see Lesnar appear one of those shows, maybe a Raw.
What about Heyman?
I'm sure you'll see Heyman during the build-up, but my thing was like, what's Orton going to say? Because Orton's not that entertaining. Like he'll get a pop.
Well, and there's no natural reason for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they kind of announced
they need
it with
more
no
build. More heat.
But they needed something for Lesnar to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they need to find something for Orton to do.
Yeah, and the ultimate publicity stunt would be because you already know Lesnar's going to want to go back. So what if they offer him a UFC title shot? Have him win the UFC. If he wins the UFC title, go back to WWE, and they can easily have him win the WWE title.
Yeah.
And he can walk around with both belts.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous.
I doubt they'll do that, but it'd just be a huge publicity stunt.
Yeah, I don't think they will either, especially because I don't think I don't think he has any chance to be the UFC champion at this point.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the fact. It's a crazy thought for publicity.
Unless it's a work, like Taz says.
It's a work! But I don't think WWE would be interested in him fighting constantly in the UFC.
No.
Nah.
Because they're basically owed a favor, and their favor is probably going to be Ronda Rousey eventually at WrestleMania. So that's how I feel about that.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't think... I don't know. I'm not really all that excited for that match. I really...
Like I said, they
Kinda whatever.
They need to build more heat. They need to put something behind it.
Yeah, because Randy Orton's been boring for years now.
Well, I disagree there. I don't think he's been boring, but he hasn't even been on TV. There's no reason to get behind him.
I can't remember. Nothing. Randy Orton hasn't done anything good.
The last big thing he did was beat Rollins at WrestleMania 31, which was maybe the best RKO I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, because the RKO's over, but just him in general on the mic, I don't think he's done anything relevant in a long time.
He's got time to tell, time to sell himself.
Yeah, before we get into Raw, last thing, the Cruiserweight Classic starts tonight while we're recording. We'll discuss it, I guess, on the show next week.
Sure.
Did you by any chance watch the Bracketology show or no?
I caught most of it.
Okay, so I did. I have a problem with WWE as they're an entertainment company now. They're not just about Raw. They're not just about SmackDown. They're not just about pay-per-views. They're about doing a lot of different things.
Shows and programs.
Yeah.
The whole kit
I
and
think
caboodle.
I think this Cruiserweight Classic thing is great because it's bringing you a bunch of guys most of us never heard of or never see. Even if we have heard of them, probably haven't seen them.
I had to look up a bunch of people just to.
Yeah, they're guys from all over the world. So you're getting people from all different cultures, all different backgrounds, all different styles. One of the things they really made a point of on the Bracketology show was, what do you think about when you hear the word cruiserweight? And everybody's first response is like, oh, well, you think about like guys doing flips and high-flying stuff.
Bryan was putting that over.
And really, it's just about your weight. You're not a bigger guy. You can do any style. And Triple H did the same thing. We made a point to get guys with different styles. Some are technical, some are high flyers, some are submission artists, some are, there's all different styles that they have. Daniel Bryan made a point of like, we'll see somebody from Chile. Who even knows what they're doing down in Chile in wrestling? Like, I think that's awesome that they're going to get all these different cultures and backgrounds represented, different styles represented. All these guys get the biggest platform they've ever had in their lives.
Their careers are just...
Like these matches that are on tonight, some of these guys might be... More people are going to see them wrestle tonight than have seen them their whole careers combined.
Yeah, somebody in this bracket debuted on NXT tonight for the tapings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there was the other guy who hasn't had a long wrestling history, Size, which I was kind of glanced at the Cruiserweight Classic while we were setting up tonight, watching a little bit of the matches, and it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kota Ibushi made his NXT debut for the tapings.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So one of the things I liked about the Bracketology thing is they did background on each of these guys. It was kind of a little bit of an interview with everybody.
Yeah.
They told you where they're from, a little bit about what their history is. A guy like Rich Swann, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
His parents both died when he was a teenager. He says basically wrestling saved his life. And we talk about it all the time, how much we enjoy wrestling, how much credit should go to these guys for, what they put themselves through to entertain us. Not to mention just wrestling as just a thing that's out there, that it could have that much of an impact on somebody's life.
Yeah.
What was the guy? TJ Striker, maybe his name was? He's from the TJ Perkins, that's right. I think he said he's from the Philippines.
Yeah, he was homeless, right?
Yeah, and he said there's not a lot of, Filipino stars. We just don't have a lot of people that we can look up to. And this is a guy now that a whole nation will have somebody to watch. That it's like, oh yeah, that's somebody who shares my heritage. Like, it's just things you don't get to see a lot. I do like, though, that the whole thing with the Cruiserweight Classic Bracketology, they're talking about some of the strategies, some of the styles going up against each other. It just adds another layer to everything. It gives something for Daniel Bryan to do, which he seems to be really good at, which I was happy about.
He's really into this.
And apparently on the draft, they're going to be doing live draft coverage on the WWE Network during
They
the
are.
draft. Yeah.
Good. That was in my notes to yell about.
Yeah, I saw that
Woo!
today. I saw that today, but I think for anything negative you want to say about WWE, what they do, what they don't do, stuff like this, they're doing right. And a whole segment of their fan base that's turned off by everything they do is going to love this.
Yeah, and they're promoting all the different countries in that cruiserweight tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's going to be great. So now moving on to Raw, unless there was anything else you wanted to add about it. Okay.
Not yet.
Main event at Battleground is still Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins challenging Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship. No longer the World Heavyweight.
Roman Reigns.
Excellent.
Yeah. Do you think this clearly is not going to help Roman Reigns in any way, right? I think that's what they hope, is that they build some sympathy for him.
That's what they're trying.
Is anybody going to feel bad for Roman Reigns when he comes back?
No. Not at all.
That's why I don't even know why they're bothering.
Just to garner more boos.
It's making Seth Rollins funnier.
Yeah, more entertaining.
Yeah. We got the first ever Rollins report where he said he had some great footage that everyone needed to see of Roman.
More of those.
Some good editing.
Where, he clipped together a bunch of, clearly, different interviews together with Roman answering the wrong question.
Did you see the world title in the background?
Yeah.
He's going from like a regular shirt
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was funny, and I loved the part when, I don't remember what Reigns' particular response was to the question, but whatever it was basically he's not sorry about what he did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Seth is like, well, if that's how you feel, so brazen. I loved that whole thing. I also liked Seth bringing up that I was almost the host of The Daily Show. I almost replaced Jon Stewart because he did say that back then, but obviously nobody's even thought about that in months and months. So I love that he brought that back up. That I was this close to replacing Jon Stewart. And even I think in the promo when he came out, I have such a great scoop. Anderson Cooper, sit down. Jon Stewart, stay retired. He mentioned some other journalist, I can't remember. Go take a nap because I have the biggest scoop. Obviously, Ambrose comes out, says it's good that you stopped being such a wet blanket and decided to have a little bit of fun. And I thought both of them cut incredibly great promos.
Yeah, excellent promos. It get a lot of heat between those two.
Yeah, I thought
kind of takes a little more away from the triple threat too, because now you just want to see these two guys go toe to toe.
You can go to Joey first because I'm going to dissect this.
Okay, because I thought of you during one point during Ambrose's promo because you've been upset that he has been just silly and goofy, and this was not a silly and goofy Dean Ambrose last night.
No.
But Joe, so what are your thoughts on the interaction they had, and it ultimately results in them having a one-on-one match on Raw next week?
I think it's great. I mean, the interaction between them was awesome. Seth Rollins talking about how you stole it from me. You didn't win this. You didn't beat me. You can't beat me. This whole triple threat is another way for you to not get the title without beating me.
Right.
And then, in retrospect, too, I mean, you have Ambrose coming back saying, I've been through a lot of piles of blood, crap, to get this title. What do you think I'm going to do to keep it?
Yeah, that was a great line.
Great line. It was great. It was great work from both these guys, and it gave a lot to this title match. All
right, well, this was one of the best promos of the year, no doubt. Seth just with the Rollins report was so good. Shades of Rock Hurt Angle, No Mercy 2000, which the Throwback Madness nomination. Don't die on me, Joey.
I'm trying.
All right. But this promo was fantastic. Good? Okay. All right, this promo was fantastic. I love how Seth just continues to lobby to get Roman out this match. He's doing it. He's done it every week. He's done a great job about with it. And then he cut a great promo on Ambrose. And then Ambrose comes out and just starts shooting on Seth and just talking about how he deserves to be the champion. I'm always here. I'm the cockroach that never goes away. I've been here every week. I'm not off doing movies. I'm here every
trying out for another sport.
I'm here every week.
Kind of a dig at Lesnar.
Uh-huh.
That's a champion promo. That's how that's why how people fell in love with Dean Ambrose and the Shield. Yeah. Because he was really on when that talked. He had an edge. That was the edge that we've been asking for so long. Another thing is, I liked how he was so. He's showing he's a fighting champion. And he doesn't care. I'll fight you
no matter what.
Yeah, so he's going to fight Seth on Raw. And I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna get to this right now. I don't want. I'm not sure if you want to have anything else about this, but I'm gonna jump ahead of this. With that match on Raw, I think Seth wins because
they keep mentioning who will be the champion. Is that why you're saying that?
No, it's not even that because this is kind of the reason I think they're doing this is because these two have separate shows. So this is the last time we're going to see this match, and we're not sure, we didn't get introduced to another championship yet. But the thing is with this is if you have Seth win, then Dean technically gets his rematch on Sunday because it's almost sure. I'm 99.9% sure that Roman Reigns come back as babyface. And if Dean retains the title, what do you do at SummerSlam? What's Seth going to do at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
So this is why I think Seth wins the title on Raw. And then on Battlegrounds, Dean Ambrose's rematch, and he goes to wherever he's going to go. And then that show moves on with their world title.
I think that's a good way to think about it. I was just thinking about they kept making the point of, now we don't even know who will be the champion in that match. And I was like, well, are they setting us up for Seth to win? I think it would be cool if Seth does win.
Yeah, because
then he could still hold that over Dean's head. He has that to hold over both of their heads now. That neither one beat him.
Yeah, and it could end in DQ, but I don't think it would end in DQ because Roman, he's still his suspension is still there.
Yeah.
So there can't be any interference from him. So I think this match is going to end clean. I think Seth wins because that's how you get. Because there's no reason to throw this match for the world title on the Go Home show. So basically, I think they're promoting that this is the last match you're going to get between these two guys. And then one's going to go to another show.
That is an interesting way to look at it. And I guess there's a lot of stuff that's going to be kind of crazy heading into this pay-per-view because
you don't know what's going to be.
Yeah, we have no clue.
Yeah, because if you actually sit down and think about who's going to be in the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Brock's facing Randy, and then who else you have?
You have a lot of
options. And then with Seth getting all this heat on Roman, trying to build sympathy for this guy, Seth's got so much heat against Roman, these two are going to have a match.
So your prediction is Seth Rollins walks out of Raw as the WWE, not the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Huh? Put a friendly 5 on it?
Yeah.
All right, friendly 5.
All right, first ever bet on the show. All right, well, now we have some rooting interest.
We'll cover that next
week. Moving on now to the women. The boss is clearly back. She's gunning for not only Charlotte's championship, but also Dana Brooke. She called out Dana on SmackDown this past week. They had their match. I loved that Sasha told Renee Young, I don't get mad, I get real. So there was a great interview she did with Renee. Good match she had with Dana. Not her best match, but that's not really Sasha's fault.
No.
All Dana.
But she's getting put over finally as the boss that she is supposed to be. I even liked Charlotte's promo after the match, saying anybody could get lucky once. So why don't you have a match with her again on SmackDown and see if you really deserve a shot at my championship?
Well, you'll like this spoiler I'm about to give you.
Okay, what's that?
Damn.
Charlotte did it. Sasha beats Dana on SmackDown.
Okay.
And Charlotte did it again.
Really?
On SmackDown, saying, "Oh, you beat Dana, but you can't beat me and Dana." So Teddy Long come in. So at Battleground, it's going to be a tag team match.
Really?
It's going to be Charlotte and Dana against Sasha and a partner of her choosing.
Who's she going to choose?
I think we all want some Bayley.
I think we're going to get some Bayley.
Nikki Bella isn't clear yet.
I want some Bayley.
She's the only person that makes sense as somebody who watches wrestling.
But
that doesn't mean that's what that never really informs the decisions they make.
You could see Paige too, because they were
I wouldn't hate it if it was Paige.
They were kind of working together last week.
I would. We just saw it.
You're right. We did.
That's the reason it might be though, is because that's what they've already done.
I just hate the idea that she's in a tag match.
How do you think I feel?
Well, they're gonna hold that title match for SummerSlam. You know that.
I just would have rather seen it be a one-on-one and then.
But it's a great heel thing. It's a great
it's a way
classic heel.
It's a way to avoid a match you don't want.
Yeah.
It is, but it's 2 months in a row now that title's not defended at a pay-per-view.
But you know title match is not gonna happen at SummerSlam. You know that.
I thought a title match would happen and then she would get screwed somehow, just like she did at WrestleMania. And then I thought the SummerSlam match might have some type of stipulation preventing that. But at least she's on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a step up from the way it's been.
She's getting pushed the way you'd like to be pushed. She's
exactly.
being the boss.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to complain too much. I have a couple nitpicks.
Couple nitpicks.
Couple nitpicks too.
So we think, obviously, Sasha and her partner will win at Battleground. I guess it doesn't even really matter, but...
I believe so.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
So we got, what,
it doesn't really affect things. 3 more shows before Battleground. Because it's one more SmackDown, one more Raw, one more SmackDown. And then, what, 5-6 weeks till SummerSlam? 5 weeks, I guess,
probably
till SummerSlam?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I'd say 5.
It's the 21st.
Yeah, I guess they could keep this story going a little. I guess they had her off TV for so long. There's nothing wrong with building it for 7-8 weeks before she wins it.
Yeah, we don't know how the women are going to work because we don't know anything yet about the draft.
We don't know who's going to go where.
Yeah, hopefully we know when we're on the show next week.
I'll yell about that later.
Is that going to be 2 women's titles too? I don't believe that's
Joey.
the case.
Don't wish that upon me.
Yeah, I hope we don't.
I'm just saying. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know. I'm in the dark as much as you guys.
They can't book one women's title.
I know. That'd be atrocious.
Only other thing I have about the women, Natty attacked Becky on SmackDown, preventing her from getting in a match. So that's still a thing.
Yeah, that's still something.
Guess what they were this week?
Where?
Main event.
Oh, yeah? So what happened on main event?
Becky had a match. She was on commentary.
Oh, okay.
Natty was on commentary.
So, did you watch it or no?
No, not yet.
Okay. You just know what happened.
He just knows it's there.
All right, this one fell to 3rd place on my list in the rankings, only because not a whole lot happened. AJ, Gallows, and Anderson, with their feud against Cena and Enzo and Cass. On SmackDown, AJ won a match against... he went up against Enzo one-on-one.
Yeah.
Enzo got caught on the rope trying to dive over, which... Second time he's had a mishap with the ropes. In a couple months.
Stay away from those ropes.
Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't let him near the ropes anymore.
You gotta do some rope work. Gotta go back to basics.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, he's about to break his neck. So a little bit dangerous. I liked though that Enzo and Cass said what we're doing basically. It's not about Cena. It's about the club. Like we're just trying to keep you guys from. Like they basically said, you're starting with John Cena. We're like, where's it going to end?
What about us?
So eventually you'll get to us. So we're just trying to
I
stop
like AJ's rebuttal too. It's like, all right, you guys, I'm giving you one chance to back out of this. You're with Cena now, but afterwards he's gonna forget about you.
Yeah, he doesn't care about.
He doesn't care about you. Where's he at now? He's off doing the ESPYs. He's leaving you here.
They did a parody of Allen Iverson's press conference. I don't know how you felt about that.
I'm sure you were entertained by that.
I was. Has the beat up John Cena grown on you yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was only a matter of time. I knew that was right in your wheelhouse. So I was glad that they kept that going, and I hope that they keep it going for a while. Although who knows? I guess they're going to be on the same show, right?
But Cena and AJ.
Were we assuming that?
Well, either way, I think you're going to see that match at SummerSlam, Cena AJ, regardless of what happens draft wise.
Yeah. Well, Cena comes out after the tag match last night.
I was in shock.
So was I.
He hasn't helped anybody.
I know. And he came out of nowhere. Well, I guess because they kept hyping that he wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
But it was kind of true because he was supposed to do the ESPYs.
Yeah. He was at practice.
He was at ESPYs
lost my train of thought. Oh, my favorite thing maybe from that whole story was they showed a tweet from John Cena where he thanked the ESPY writers. He said, "Great, creative, and hilarious." My guess is this the first group of writers he's worked with that are great, creative, and hilarious? Because
that's kind of...
That was the first thing I thought of, is he must not be used to working with writers who know what they're doing.
No, it makes sense.
He probably doesn't work with writers at all in WWE anymore. He just does his own thing.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, though. I was like, oh, good spot to get a WWE writer joke in there. WWE creative in there. So I was surprised by Cena, too. I feel like the club has to win this match, though. And I feel like they're not going to.
I feel like they definitely have more to lose by not winning.
Well, I enjoyed the club. Like they look way more comfortable right now than they did before. They're having a good time. Even with Renee, they look comfortable. They were being themselves. They were having fun. I love them talking about John Cena isn't here and stuff like that. But they've been booked. They've been booked better. They've been looked like a dominant force. They look like a legit group. Even just a shot where they were all three standing over Enzo on Raw, and Enzo was just like, "Okay, I got to take on all three of these guys." They just look dominant, throwing Cass over the barricade and stuff like that. They look like a dominant team. They haven't announced that SmackDown match yet. I don't know if it's going to be a dark match or it's going to actually be on the show.
Oh, the one you mentioned last week?
Yeah, with Cena and AJ going one-on-one. That match will predict the outcome of the six-man tag because the club has to win because they've done a good job for 2 weeks building the club up. They've done a great job doing that. Great job doing that for 2 weeks.
They've been entertaining and good.
Yeah, and like the club is actually a group. Cena, Enzo, and Cass are not a group.
No.
And then when you look at it, Enzo could be there to take the pinfall because John Cena ain't taking the pinfall.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they need to win, and I feel like because it's Cena, they won't win.
Yeah.
But it just makes...
That was the same thing we were saying the first AJ Styles match, too, that they found a way to kind of get around that.
Yeah, 'cause a loss won't hurt Enzo and Cass and Cena. It won't hurt them. But but it all depends on that SmackDown match if it's on TV, and I think Cena has to win that, and then the club goes over at Battleground.
Yeah, plus, like he said, they just won't have Cena take the pin, so it's not going to be
Yeah,
Cena
that's what
losing.
Enzo's for. Because Big Cass isn't going to pin.
That's true. Well, that's why I was thinking that. I was like, those are two guys that they don't want to
Enzo's going
tarnish.
to end up getting stuck in the ropes, then going to take the pin. Dipping in and out.
It was a good callback.
Enzo's the Jeff Hardy of this team.
So he just called. So I'm so glad you're not 12, 13 years old right now because you would not like Enzo at all.
No.
Do you think you'd like Jeff Hardy more now if you're watching it at this age?
Well, I never said I didn't like Jeff Hardy. I just said he would piss me off. With those tag titles. Like at Survivor Series 01, you should see that Facebook. He missed that swanton off the table.
You didn't look like the guy after the Undertaker lost, did you?
Huh?
You didn't look like the guy in the crowd after the Undertaker lost to Lesnar,
I did.
you? I gotta dig up a picture of that somewhere.
I was so mad.
So Miz is back, still defending still has the Intercontinental Championship. We had a battle royal to determine the number one contender.
If you want to call it that.
Yeah.
There was 3 or 4 tag teams in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of weak.
I saw who was in the ring. Apollo gets the only entrance. So I thought, okay, maybe Apollo wins, but I don't think
maybe
so.
Corbin,
I thought maybe Del Rio, and I thought maybe Corbin or Darren Young. Those were the 4 that I thought had a chance.
Well, my thing was, I don't know if you follow WWE on Snapchat.
Mm-mm.
No.
But Miz and Darren Young were working matches on house shows over the weekend. So I was like, okay, who's in there? I'm doing my heel face ratio. I'm like, okay, Darren Young was working Miz during the weekend. Darren Young win this match somehow, some way.
I just thought he hasn't done anything but those stupid vignettes.
He hasn't been on TV, he hasn't wrestled.
Why can't we get vignettes for a new up-and-coming guy that hasn't debuted yet? We can't get those, but we can get these stupid Bob Backlund, Darren Young vignettes.
I gotta admit, some of those I enjoy.
See, I hate them all. I just think it's so dumb.
It's dumb.
There's a reason why I have never brought it up on the show.
No, but
They're trying to avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
I just love Bob Backlund just yelling at Darren. I find some of it entertaining.
So
I don't care about it, but I just think it's
so. This is your brand of silliness.
Yes.
It's your type of love.
I guess we're all entitled to like something silly here and there. This I just hate it so much.
Him just yelling at Darren Young when he says something just kills me.
Yeah, it just hasn't done it for me. But I felt like he was going to win just for that reason.
Yeah,
it's the first thing he's doing.
Usos in there, the Dudleys,
he was the last person I thought was going to win.
Really?
Like I said, because he hasn't been on TV, and
but
the Bob Backlund thing. Okay, I don't know. It's entertaining.
I did like seeing Bob Backlund pick him up after the match.
Yeah, Bob Backlund, man, he just picked him up like it was like nothing. That guy's got some strength behind him.
But if there's one person that can make people care about Darren Young, it's the Miz. It's the Miz.
Yeah. I know there's somebody who's suspended from the show right now who would not like hearing you say that.
He may be back next week.
We'll see. He's appealing.
He's appealing.
Yeah. The
facts are the facts. He tested positive, and that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the show. It's embarrassing for everything.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
We put a lot of hard work, and we don't need to have this crap behind the scenes. It's just we don't have to.
You're not going to have a scoop next week, are you?
I might have a report.
So Darren Young now has a match with The Miz at Battleground. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, can you really get behind Black John Cena like that?
Yeah, I guess that's really all we need to say about that. Anybody else have anything to add about Darren Young or Bob Backlund or The Miz? U.S. title, Rusev and Zack Ryder.
I have something to say. Zack Ryder is turning into my Dolph Ziggler. I'm going to try real hard. Like, I watched SmackDown. I'm trying to get in the habit of watching SmackDown. So I watched this past Thursday. I just found it so funny that he just went back in time and said, I'm going to regain my U.S. title. That was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was yesterday.
Yeah, he said Intercontinental, okay, but like, dude, that was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's long been since time that you're referred to as like you were like a recent U.S. champion.
And then I mean it's just confusing because they're trying to push him to be like I guess an opposition to Rusev, and then they have him lose to Sheamus.
Well, that was the story because he got attacked before the match. That was the story, so he was already going into that match, quote unquote, hurt. But he's grown on me, but he's still my Dolph Ziggler. That's how I feel about him.
Yeah, he started really when I was not watching.
I didn't like him.
So I came back to, you never saw him. Then I saw him with Mojo Rawley on NXT, and I was like, Zack Ryder, whatever. And actually, a friend of the show, Joe Lafferty, was like, I actually like Zack Ryder. And I was like, huh. I was like, well, if he likes him, maybe I should pay a little bit of attention.
Yeah, you listen to a guy who hates Cat.
But it made me pause a little and say, okay, let me pay some attention to the guy. And he can work. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff in the ring. He can talk. So it's like, yeah, why hasn't the guy gotten more of an opportunity? Because he can do the things you need him to do.
He needs a better gimmick. I mean,
I like his new music.
He's stuck there. I mean, he's stuck there in like mid card.
Well, at least he's got on the show.
Yeah, he's got a lot more time on the show.
And not been on Superstar.
Well, yeah, he won the elimination match for Team USA. He had the win over Sheamus. He now gets a U.S. title shot. Any chance Ryback? Any chance Ryder is the one who unseats Rusev as the U.S. champion?
Slim to none.
He
had that 99.9%.
Yeah.
I have that 0.1% that Zack Ryder wins the title.
Well, the last time somebody picked Zack Ryder on the show, he
won
the Intercontinental
title. That was in February.
I made a call.
I totally forgot about that.
That's the first thing I think of. The milkman made the call.
The milkman. I don't want to completely disrupt and stop the show, but after the show, I do need to know why you've been calling him the milkman, because it's not the first time tonight.
Oh, he's milking the Punta Cana experience.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right.
I can milk anything.
KO and Sami Zayn. I almost feel like this feud has been on the back burner.
It has. I just like...
This is not just my perception, because I know sometimes I perceive things very differently.
This did nothing. They make Sami Zayn look horrible, and Kevin Owens is just so good. This is unsafe work
environment. I love that.
Sucking up to Stephanie. All the stuff I love, but they did nothing to build this up.
Yeah, Sami gets escorted from commentary. Owens beats Cesaro. Sami comes back, attacks him. It ends with the Cesaro swing on Owens, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess how much further can you really push their story forward?
Yeah, they've had it pushed so often. I mean, they already got the heat and everything like that.
I just feel like, as much as everybody loves these two guys, loves seeing these guys work together, it's a shame that they're getting pushed so far down in the pecking order of what's important. But in all likelihood, they're going to be on different shows. So I don't see. I guess this really is just their send-off. So like, well, we might as well just do it one last time.
Yeah, put it together.
Who do you think wins?
They're 1-1 now.
I mean, this doesn't have to be an official prediction. That'll be next week.
I don't know. Sami Zayn needs it.
I say Kevin Owens.
Well, Kevin Owens can recover easier.
He can. I'm not saying who needs it more. Are you saying who I think wins?
I think Sami Zayn should win because he needs it more.
That's not always how it works, though.
I know.
Yeah, so on our episode of Matt Madness Unsanctioned, shout out to Derek McCall. He said his favorite wrestler right now is Sami Zayn. He said what he loves about Sami is they make you think for so long like that he's never going to get over the hump and win, which makes it that much more enjoyable when he does get over the hump and win. If they're not going to be wrestling each other for a while, I think it only makes sense to give Sami that win in their send-off. He's the baby face. He's a crowd favorite. I know the crowd loves both guys, but
caddy. Yeah,
I think Sami deserves the win in this last one. So that's where I am for now. When we make the official predictions next week, I may change my mind. I have a hard time ever picking against Kevin Owens, but yeah, I got to think about it a little more.
Get into it, think deep.
Yeah. So the last point of Raw I want to get to is we have at least a little bit of clarity, the least possible amount of clarity on the new brand split. Vince, the chairman of the board, shows up last night. He brings Stephanie and Shane out to the ring for his announcement of who is going to run SmackDown Live. He makes them both lobby for it. So before I get into that, I mentioned earlier how often I'm disappointed in WWE for their lack of creativity, their lack or their reluctance to do anything different from just what they normally do. It's like, oh, the show looks like this. Guy comes out to start the show, does a promo. Another guy comes out and interrupts it. Another guy might come out and interrupt it. Then we announce a match later that night. Then a throwaway match gets thrown in the next segment, and that goes for 2 segments. They're stuck in this pattern of, this is how we do things, that's how we'll always do things. My hope with SmackDown was, Raw will be what Raw is. SmackDown can get the opportunity to be something different. Maybe it could be a show more for the wrestling purist. Maybe, something different we haven't even thought of is what it could be. I just don't want it to be a 2-hour version of Raw, just with a different cast of characters. So I started thinking, I don't know if you guys noticed, and maybe I hadn't noticed it before, the last 2 weeks, they opened SmackDown with quick little promos from a variety of different guys. I don't think they had normally been doing that.
No, not normally.
I don't ever remember
Sometimes,
it.
not all the time.
But the last 2 weeks, they did it. And I started thinking, maybe SmackDown's going to be kind of the old school wrestling show, where they do old school wrestling things, not World Wrestling Entertainment things. And then it turns out that Shane is now running SmackDown. Stephanie's running Raw. Vince wants him to compete. Break the law, damn it. Just don't get caught. He wants them to compete with each other. He wants them to fight with each other.
You're not my children.
Yeah, I don't want this to end up being just another story where it's the McMahons against each other.
Yeah,
I want it to be where SmackDown is its own thing. I don't want it to be where
its own commodity.
It's part of the show, which show's getting better ratings. I don't need Vince Russo should have no influence on anything.
Please.
And to me,
Please,
he's
for the love
the
of God,
only one
no
who
Vince
cares
Russo.
about
He
ratings.
has a lot of influence on Throwback Madness.
Yeah, I guess he does.
That writing went a lot into my reading.
But so how do you feel about this is the split? Shane, I think, thought he was going to get to control SmackDown and still control Raw. He gets one.
I mean,
Steph gets the other.
I don't mind it yet, but I have kind of the same feelings you do. I want to see it, be about ratings and kind of throwing the same product there with different names. I think it's great with the split that we're going to see, different kind of people holding titles, different people getting pushes. We're kind of seeing that now with Zack Ryder and Darren Young. So I'm kind of intrigued by in that aspect. Again, I don't want to see it all be about the McMahons, the man competing against each other all the time. See more about wrestling, more about great storylines.
That's what I hope for too. How about you? How do you feel about this being the end result?
Okay. The brand split hasn't even started yet. It makes no sense already. They announced this in May. You couldn't tell me Shane's gonna run Raw and then Shane's gonna run SmackDown, Stephanie's gonna run Raw in May.
And then build from there.
Exactly. We still know nothing. They're gonna probably tell us everything Monday, but we still know nothing. You wasted all that time, and you could have built through all this throughout the 2 months, and then having the fact that they're the commissioner and they have to have a GM.
Yeah.
It's like they're McMahons. They're gonna overshadow whoever the GMs are. I don't know if that means Stephanie and Shane are gonna be there every week or whatever, but no matter what, they're McMahons. They're gonna overshadow whoever it is. We'll get to who we think the GMs will be soon, but I'm glad they're putting this over as a real draft because I want this as a real draft. You said they're having a network thing.
So I read today, yes, that during the draft on SmackDown, there will be some sort of live coverage on the WWE Network, where I guess they're breaking down the draft.
Okay.
So they're taking that step like another piece of entertainment, like we're analyzing it as it's happening.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want this to be a real draft. They have this network. You do all that extra bonus stuff. You have Swerved and all this other stuff. You have your network. Do stuff like this. I want this to be a draft. I want the ticker on the bottom of the screen. I want backstage interviews. I want breaking news,
That'd be cool.
NXT. People tweeting out, I'm I'm declaring for the draft and stuff like that, or like older superstars coming in saying I'm here. It's stuff like that. I want Mauro Ronaldo to be the Mel Kiper of this draft. I want him shaking his head and everything, just like Mel Kiper does. That's how I want to draft. I want, like, when they get drafted, I want interviews backstage with Renee and JoJo, and like stuff like that. And they're putting this over. We know nothing yet, but they're putting over that tag teams to be broken up. The ones that Vince wants broken up, basically.
Yeah, they talked about it the whole episode.
Yeah. To an nauseam.
Yeah, and they also made us feel like a real draft because they kept talking about how John Cena should he be the number 1 pick because he has his hand in all the other things now.
And almost everybody who was in the ring, JBL kept saying, "Oh, he could be a top 10 pick."
Maybe a top 10 pick model.
There's only 10 top 10 picks.
Well,
Everybody's
since we're on
This led to that top 10 pick model.
Since we're on JBL, can we talk about JBL being a little racist in the beginning of the show with the Battle Royal?
What did he say?
He was in there. It was what's his face? Apollo Crews was wrestling. He called him. He's like, "Oh, Titus O'Neil in there."
Did he really?
Yeah,
I didn't notice that at all.
Later, he's like, "Oh, I said Titus O'Neil. I met Apollo Crews."
Did you hear Cole call Devon?
Yeah, I
did. Yeah, but like I want this to be like they were talking about how Cena.
Yeah, I completely missed that.
Yeah, they were talking about how
maybe I was a little bit racist too. Then I didn't even know.
It is Titus.
Yeah, but they were talking. They were talking about Cena should he be the number 1 pick because he has his hand in other things. He may not always be there, which is true because you want longevity out of these guys. So I like that, and I like the fact that they're treating us like a real draft because that's how I want it. Even if you want to do trades, I can only assume they're going to have 10, 15 picks on TV, and then probably have the rest on the network, which you should do, and still have those interviews and backstage analysis and like so-called breakout people you think of breakout. I want direct input, like a real NFL.
Yeah, like
draft.
Corey Graves could have a board of the best available remaining.
Yeah, and another thing is, where's Roman going?
Oh, damn.
Where's he getting drafted? Because he's not going to be on the show.
Wow.
I don't know. Throw a monkey wrench into things.
Yeah. Him and Eric Trubisky started.
That is a major month because last month he's number 1.
They're starting the Westchester Wrestling Championship.
They start their own thing.
The WCWC.
You can just go to TNA.
So you brought up something a minute ago that reminded me of part of my original point. Is with WWE lacking creativity, forward thinking. The draft, I wanted it to be like an event. This is something we're doing. This is going to be a big event. Not just okay, well, it's a thing we're doing, and it's just a thing that's going to happen, which is what it feels like now. If SmackDown is going to be a show that's different, how different is it going to be if John Cena is the biggest star on it? Because to me, that's what you've been getting for the last 10 years already. If it's the McMahons competing against each other, that's not different. I wanted this to be... So they keep billing it as it's going to change the face of WWE forever. If the whole thing is just, well, we have 2 shows now instead of 1.
Yeah, they've done that before.
That's nothing.
The only difference is it's live now.
Yeah, I want this to end up being an event that really changes something, not just, we have 2 instead of 1. It's only because you're the only company and you have most of the talent under contract.
They have a lot of talent right now.
Yeah. So we actually had a question because I'm pretty disappointed with the creative direction of WWE in a lot of ways.
You're just now disappointed?
I've been disappointed. But I try to always stick to what I find fun so I can just enjoy talking about it. But the question is from the Playboy Ronald Lloyd. He says, what should I be excited about it? What should I be excited about? Help. Signed, a long-lost fan. He is not excited about anything going on in WWE. He says the pay-per-views have been good, but Raw has been terrible. The mid-card titles have been handled terribly. So can you give him anything to be excited about?
Yeah, I can give him something right on top of my head. The return of the game, Triple H.
Oh, damn. I don't think he's going to be entertained by that.
He won't, but what do you got? What should he be excited about?
He should be excited about having that second title hold. He should be excited about having 2 quality storylines. I think you're going to see a lot of wrestlers that, maybe wouldn't have a chance for that title, have the ability to rise up and step up their game. I think you could be excited about that.
Well, on a serious answer, he should still be excited about Triple H, by the way, because he's excellent. But he should be excited about possibly seeing new stars because like with this brand split, you're going to see they're going to have to dig a little deep to get a lot of these guys on the card. So you're going to see a lot of people that you never usually see or didn't care for put in a prime position. Like last night, shot Tyler Breeze for getting a win and time, and actually had a real match. Got a full entrance. Lucha Dragon got a full entrance, and they had a good match. My brother texted me saying Tyler Breeze is awesome. I'm like, I know Tyler Breeze is awesome.
They've known that.
They don't book him properly.
Yeah, they book him properly.
So things like that will happen.
That was a great supermodel kick too.
Yeah. And when he was hanging in the corner, that was awesome. So
yeah,
that's what you look forward
Tucked
to.
his head.
Yeah,
that's what you look forward to. New stars and people that will steal your heart.
What I'm really looking forward to too, again, maybe this will help his point, is I'm looking forward to how they're going to introduce that other title. Is it going to be a tournament style? Is it going to just be a match? Or are they going to just hand it to someone? How are they going to introduce that?
yeah. I think my thing would be, what should he be excited for? I think he should be excited for the Cruiserweight Classic, because knowing who the real Playboy Ronald Lloyd is, that is his style of wrestling. I think he would enjoy every one of those matches that takes place. If we're just talking about what's going on the main shows, I just think the brand split will create more opportunities for more guys that haven't had one. And some of the guys that you like that have been buried are going to get dug up, so to speak, in a couple weeks.
Climb out of that ditch.
So that's the best I can do, because there's not a whole lot going on. I think this being very well executed, but there are things to be excited about. I find stuff to enjoy every week.
Excited by a Sasha Banks title run.
That is something to be excited about. Good job. I should have had that answer, but I'll tip of the cap to you for coming up with that.
You're not wearing a cap.
Yeah.
Maybe just tip your head. Your
Tip of the headphone.
There you go.
The show closed, by the way, on Stephanie McMahon blowing a kiss from the ramp down to the ring. Is there any chance that CM Punk is her GM? I mean, no, but that was the first thing I thought of when she blew the kiss down the ramp. Yeah.
You see when she fell?
I did.
Oh, no.
She played it off great, too.
How about that slap? She slapped Shane. Shane didn't even flinch.
Yeah, she said what did he say? You know the game. You'll be looking up at me just like it's always been. And she slapped him and said, there's only one game and I'm married to him. And then, she almost fell when she got down the steps.
He's took a lot of those in his day.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. So, very quickly, NXT, Bailey is back.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Who do you think the GMs are going to be?
Oh, I was going to get to that when we did the mock draft. We can do that right now.
Dive into it.
Yeah.
Dive into it then.
Bailey beat Alexa Bliss, gives a promo. Nia Jax comes out. They're going to have another match. I assume this is going to be the match Bailey wins to earn her title shot at TakeOver.
Yep, it's official. Asuka and Bailey's official for Brooklyn.
Okay, so we know that already.
Good match.
Blake and Murphy were back.
It was a really good match. I was impressed by Bliss's in-ring work.
Oh yeah, she's gotten so good.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she stays in NXT and she gets a chance to really shine down there.
And then maybe make a title run.
Yeah, I think that would be great. That's actually another question we had from Crystal in Gainesville, Florida.
Crystal!
Basically, the question was, she's a big Carmella fan. Do we think that... So during the Alexa Bliss-Carmella match 2 weeks ago, I believe Corey Graves kept making mention that Carmella might need to take a page from Alexa Bliss's book and start caring about nothing but herself. Do you think at some point they may have Carmella turn on Bailey to finally earn her way into the title picture?
I don't think so, because they have, 2 women baby faces in NXT?
I don't know, but part of her point was they love to tell the story of all of Bailey's friends turning on her.
They do tell that story a lot. I'm not sure if Carmella or Bailey will be around in NXT for it to come.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen either, just because I think they want to keep Carmella babyface. I think there's better ways to get around that, to make her a little more edgy without having her turn on Bailey. Because you said Bailey's about to get demoted, so...
Yeah, they need women on the WWE roster, so if Alexa Bliss is going to stay in NXT, then Carmella may come up, because she could easily be put with Enzo and Cass, if they're still a thing.
Yeah, being that we have no idea what's happening with the brand split and the rosters, I'll just answer with the assumption that both of them will be around after the draft. I do think it makes sense to have Carmella turn on Bailey, just because, one, it happens all the time. Two, if nothing else, it gives you a chance to see Carmella work a different character. Because she's built the one now to someone who was booed, a year and a half ago. She was the one person out of that group that they didn't like. to now she gets universally cheered. And it would be good to see her be a heel instead of just the girl in the group that nobody likes. So I think it would be interesting if they did it, but it all kind of depends on who's still there, in a week.
Where they go with all this.
Yeah, we don't know yet. But Crystal, thank you for the question. Hopefully we answered it to your liking. Yeah, hottest chick in the ring. Maybe she needs to be a heel at some point before she gets called up. Blake and Murphy came back.
Yeah, why?
Rhino came out and cleaned house.
Thank you.
They asked Rhino on his way out of the building, why did you come back? And he didn't answer. My thought was maybe he came back just because Blake and Murphy don't belong in NXT anymore. I don't know.
He was. That
was his sole purpose. No, I don't want to see this anymore.
You guys can't get back together. I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to stop it dead in its tracks.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. What did you guys think? Big match, American Alpha and the Revival, best 2 out of 3 falls
great
match. Did it live up to your expectations?
Oh, yeah, it lived up to my expectation. I thought it was a great match. It didn't end the way I thought it would end, but it was a great match otherwise. I can't complain.
How did you think it would end?
I thought American Alpha would walk away with the titles. Maybe after the first pinfall, my mind started changing a little bit, but I still thought American Alpha was going to win. But
how about you?
I thought it was a good match. They always have good matches. I love when the first fall with Gable when Jordan had the ankle lock in, and then Gable slid out the ring and grabbed Dawson and put him in dual ankle locks. That was great. Even the sequence when they went for the Grand Amplitude, and then he countered it, and they tried to go for the Shadow Machine, and they countered that too. But
my favorite spot in the whole match.
Yeah.
It was in the corner.
I kind of laughed because somebody pointed this out to me. The Shadow Machine on the side on the ring apron, that did nothing to hurt Gable anymore.
Yeah.
because he just falls into Dash.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good point.
It still looked pretty.
If anything, it put more strain on the team actually implementing the move than the team taking it. I guess it was just to get an instant reaction from the crowd, who probably hadn't thought it that far through yet. But
no, didn't nitpick it a little bit.
If any group of fans would think that deep into it in an instant, it would probably be that super smart.
It was a nice
crowd.
spot, though. I'll give you
it
that.
was. I liked it.
That's real hard.
I liked that whole final 5-minute sequence of that match. I thought it was a really good match. Lived up to my expectations.
The crowd felt kind of alive this NXT show as
well.
We had talked about how it felt a little flat lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was definitely a good crowd this week. Definitely a live crowd. I thought it helped the matches out. I thought that was a great match. And next week we have Finn and this week actually was already filmed tonight. I have no idea what happens. I assume you do or no?
Yeah, I do know.
Okay, I don't.
I don't, but I do.
I mean, I kind of know what's going to happen, but we'll be here to talk about that next week. It's a big match.
That'd be great.
One of the biggest matches in NXT history.
I'm assuming we'll cover some of the Cruiserweight Classic as well.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk
More
about
wrestling.
it. I know. A lot of wrestling going forward. This is I believe this is the last week we're not talking about a taped SmackDown, right?
Yep.
RIP.
Yeah, bye. Goodbye. Taped SmackDown.
Spoilers.
Yeah, those days are over. Now we got to rely on the dirt sheets even more.
You got to really watch the shows.
Yeah, before we move on, do we have any questions tonight?
Not on my end.
None from you? None from you?
I got nothing this week either.
All right, the last question I had was from someone who is referring to himself as the suspension.
Referring to himself as the suspension.
Yes, the question asker referred to himself only as the suspension. The suspension asks, who do you see being the first draft pick for both Raw and SmackDown? Which leads us into our next segment. We're going to do a fantasy mock draft, whatever you want to call it. Alo, you got what, SmackDown?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want you to refer to me during this draft as Mr. Tuesday Night.
So, Mr. Tuesday Night, Alo, Aaron Lloyd will
We're going to make SmackDown great again!
You will be the GM for SmackDown.
Wow.
C. Kane Joe, Mr. Sexy Punakana, 2012 till forever. You will be the GM for Raw.
I'm on that.
Joey Rods.
The one rule we'll have, I guess we'll do 30 seconds per pick, and each player must take 3 members of the NXT current roster.
So you're Mel Kiper.
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So is this going to answer the question of who we would take first in each show?
This will answer the suspensions question. Because I assume whoever you pick is who you would actually pick first.
True.
For each show.
Now, who gets first pick? Is it a coin flip? Or
we don't know who gets first pick either.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, nobody has any idea. I guess
This is going to be about me and you.
I guess we'll give SmackDown first pick as if this is like an expansion draft.
Okay.
But do you have anybody in mind who will be a GM for each show?
Well, did you see what leaked yesterday from WWE.com about the Yes movement coming to SmackDown?
I did, and then they took it
They
down.
took it down. So,
More than my diaper.
so I would think
Almost as much.
So even with Shane catering to the fans, I wouldn't be shocked if it's Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Raw, I'm not sure because I would say Triple H, but I can't see Triple H being below Stephanie, and he is so-called the COO of the company. So I have no idea who Stephanie would pick, but if I had to pick, I would say Triple H. But I don't think I'm not 100% positive with that.
How about you? Any
Kind of
ideas?
where I was going to go Triple H and Daniel Bryan.
I had the same answer, so maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know.
Anticlimactic.
Or maybe that tells you that neither of those two
they're
will
not
be.
options.
You know who's gonna be?
Who?
It's me, Austin.
It was me all along. All right, so Alo, first pick of the draft.
What? Say it right.
Oh, Mr. Tuesday Night. Alo, first pick
Okay.
in the SmackDown Live brand extension draft. Who is it going? Who are you building the franchise around?
Woo! Okay, so on Mr. Tuesday Night Alo SmackDown, we have to start from the bottom.
No one's going to watch it.
We have to rebuild, reclaim, redesign.
I didn't ever go
We're going to architect the perfect show with Seth Rollins.
Wow. Number one pick.
Great pick.
Woo!
Can't argue with that pick.
Wow.
You're not feeling it?
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
So, Mr. Sexy,
Well,
first pick for Raw, the flagship program,
this flagship program.
the Juggernaut.
I want to make this program phenomenal. I want to make this key number one. So I'm going with some style, some AJ style.
Man,
Wow.
you just ripped off like 8 AJ Styles puns just in that pick.
Wow.
Impressed by that. So now, number 2 pick for SmackDown.
All right, well, Alo SmackDown, we always need a top guy. We need a 15-time world champion to get buried to build up my new stars. So I'm taking John Cena himself.
You taking the shovel?
Yes, I am.
Wow, the shovel.
to be put in the grave.
The shovel working Tuesday nights.
Yes, he is.
Wow. The number
All right.
3 overall
Well,
pick.
I'm gonna go a little off book here. I'm
Okay.
gonna fulfill some of my NXT quota, plus book my main event,
Okay.
my title match. I'm going Finn Balor.
All right.
Wow, the future. Woo. Wow. The number 4 overall pick. You got
All right,
some
Mr.
age-
Tuesday
you got
Night.
some age and some youth on your roster.
That's how you gotta go.
Wow. Experience.
Yeah, nice balance.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good pick, Joey.
Thank you.
You're going for that indie show, aren't you?
we got into that fantasy football where you're complimenting the other guy's pick.
Yeah, when you're trying to stall time.
Now you picked somebody that's hurt.
When you're trying to stall time, that's what
Now
happens.
you picked somebody that's out for the season.
Okay, so Alo SmackDown proudly presents the pick of Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
So you'll get a show a month out of him. So I mean, that's
I got a draw.
You do got to draw. When he's on
Yeah.
that show, you'll
Yeah.
do some big ratings. All right. 3 pick for Raw, the Juggernaut.
I'm gonna go with the fat slob, Kevin Owens.
Man, this is the
He can steal-
IWC. This is
he
the
can
show
steal
the
the mic.
IWC is gonna
Wow.
go nuts for.
Vince Russo ain't watching your show.
No, Vince Russo will
I'll
bury
take
your
that,
show.
I'll take that as
every
a compliment.
week.
All right, we're on number 4 now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, after he's done popping his Flintstone chewables, he is welcome to Alo SmackDown, Roman Reigns.
Ooh. Wow.
Wow.
This is becoming really commercial.
Maybe
SmackDown.
the 4 biggest draws in the business right now.
Yeah.
All right.
SmackDown's all about making
Number
money.
4 pick for Raw.
I'm going someone I think would fit well, maybe fighting Kevin Owens, put on some good matches, and fulfill another pick of my quota, going Shinsuke.
Wow, Nakamura.
So you're using all your NXT call-ups now.
I'm going with the big ones. I'm going with the ones I want. Hold up.
That's fine.
These are two
That
different
is
Well,
shows.
I'm actually kind of getting my wish in that these are two very different looking shows
Very
already.
different. Yeah.
Hmm.
How about that?
It's sad that it's slim pickings already. Something about this roster.
I think you'd be a steal right now if you go with Darren Young.
Well, yeah.
No. No.
Those are some big names.
We're
out
not
there.
going to. We're not going to do that.
No names.
We're not going to do that at all.
No
What
names.
we're going to do is, what we're going to do is, we're going to get legit and select Sasha Banks.
Ooh.
Wow.
First woman off the board.
Very progressive, Mr. Tuesday Night.
I'm going to go with one of my favorite heels right now, and probably one of my favorite heels of all time, Y2J.
Wow. Him and AJ can continue their feud for a
The
little
gift
while
of Jericho,
longer.
it has
Drink-
nothing
drink
on
it
the
in.
gift of Halo. Listen in, man. We're number 6 now.
Number
Yep.
6
We're on
pick
6.
for SmackDown.
Okay, so I can't believe that, Joey. You must be crazy. You might be
Kind
a bit of a lunatic.
Hey,
We're picking this guy, so
Yeah.
I'm picking Dean Ambrose.
Surprised he
He
dropped
slipped.
down a little bit. Yeah, he slipped.
in the draft this year.
there's somebody's left in the green room every year during the draft.
He's
so.
the Aaron Rodgers.
He's the one waiting. He's waiting by his phone, waiting for that call.
He did very poorly on the Wonderlic test.
You're at a 4.840.
All right, next pick for Mr. Sexy Punakana indefinitely.
Indefinitely,
Yeah.
forever and ever. Huh, where are we going here?
Never to be unseated.
See, I know you're not a fan of this guy's work, but again, I want some experience on my roster, so I'm going Randy Orton.
Okay, take that board.
RKO.
People will turn the channel when he's on television.
We'll see.
Okay, with the number 7 pick, Mr. Tuesday Night, Halo SmackDown will decide to pick. Let's see. Well, we need something. No, I'm not gonna go that way. I'm gonna make this guy great again. He will no longer be named Job Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is coming to Halo SmackDown.
Well, hopefully you can book him to do something more than try really
I
hard.
will.
All right, 7 pick for the Juggernaut.
Let's try.
Monday Night Raw.
Let's try and keep the balance here, and I'm going to go with someone I think is going to be a big star on the rise, and let's see what we can do down the road too. I'm going to go Big Cass.
All right. He's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach
teach
that.
All right, well, I'm gonna just do this pick with flair and pick
that
Charlotte.
Building up the women's division.
That's right.
was another one of my hopes, that one show has all the women. So that's a feud that could go down in history. The Legit Boss and
Yes, it is.
Charlotte.
Well, I want to keep my tag team division together, so I'm going to go Enzo.
All right.
Keep those guys rolling.
You gonna get into them all right? Okay, fine. Okay, that's
Keeps
fine.
the realest guys in the room.
How are you doing?
How you doing?
All right. With my next pick. All right. This roster is so sad. So much talent. They do nothing. All right. So I'm gonna go to. Well, let me see. I'm gonna go with the NXT champion Samoa Joe.
All right. I like that.
I was hoping he'd fall a little bit. That being said, where am I going to go here? So many options. But I'm going to go with someone who I think, and we've seen it on NXT, who hasn't had a lot of push in WWE, and I think with the watered down rosters being split, we could see a lot of work out of this guy. I'm going to go Neville.
Oh, that was
Man.
my next pick, Joey.
A lot of high-flying matches on Raw going forward.
That was my next pick.
Sorry, bro.
The man that gravity forgot. His inertia kept him on Monday Night Raw.
You need a receiver.
We're allowed 3 NXT call-ups, correct?
3, yeah.
That's the minimum requirement.
Or you could do more. Or
You can. I don't know. How about we just say you have to do 3?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. So Joey used all his already.
He's got 1 left.
I did 2.
I did 2?
Yeah.
I thought he did 3. Okay. What is it, number 8?
Stop trying to think. Yeah.
We're
You're on
up
10.
to...
Or 9?
You're in 10.
10 already?
No.
Yeah, I did 9, so you get first pick, you'd be on 10.
Okay. So the next pick for
Yeah,
ALO
that's 10.
SmackDown will be Big E.
Big E, Mr. Tuesday Night. One of his cousins.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
The suspension.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Swiss Superman.
Oh, wow. Cesaro ended up being a top 10 pick, just like JBL said.
He's a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
I kept it there.
I'm not going to give him back his Jamaican accent, but Kofi Kingston.
Kofi. Are you you getting a New Day together?
New Day.
All right, Kofi,
Well,
just outside the top 10, but
I'll
still in
try-
the lottery.
I'll try and keep my tag division together too. I'm gonna go Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson. All right, so we got 2/3 of the club making their way.
I can't believe this guy slipped this far. I'm gonna resurrect this man, Bray Wyatt.
All right,
was
I
thinking
can't
about
believe.
him. I was definitely debating him.
All
So,
right,
again,
hopefully, Mr. Tuesday Night can find more to do with Bray Wyatt than
Than they have so far.
yeah.
He's beaten C in the first match.
I like the work they're doing right now, so I'm gonna keep the whole club together.
All right, Gallows.
And we have someone to feud with Big Cass and Enzo.
Yeah, I was gonna say another big guy to go up against Big Cass.
All right. Are you ready, Willing and Gable for champion?
Damn.
I'm always ready, willing, and Gable.
Yeah, we're getting a little crazy here now. I need a little more. I'm gonna do this just to spite you.
No. Oh.
Wow,
He's on my list.
And The Rock's on the list. Nobody's trying to pick The Rock.
He's on my list.
You can't pick Triple H.
All right, I'll disqualify that. I'll disqualify that.
I guess I wasn't even really thinking about it.
I just went with the list. I'm gonna go someone who I think is a great wrestler, and I'm gonna go Belter Del Rio.
Wait, who?
Alberto.
Oh, Alberto. I didn't realize you were doing an accent there. I was like, wait, there's somebody else on the roster.
I went to the Matt Hardy School of Accents.
I was on the dean's list at the Matt Hardy School of Accents. He said, hey, that didn't sound like your normal voice. Straight A's.
Well, I'm going with Jason Jordan.
Keep that. Yeah, you got to keep Alpha
I
together.
was hoping you'd keep them together. I kind of want to see them stay together too.
That's what I thought you were doing. You said you were going to spite him. I thought you were going
Jason
Jordan.
Jordan.
I could have, but I mean, I thought I would do better if they stayed together. Maybe I'm being a little too nice.
No, I think that's exactly what should happen.
I'm gonna go Tyler Breeze.
Damn you!
I'm gonna stick with that young theme.
All right, I like it. All right, next up for Mr. Tuesday Night.
I'm so mad at you, Joey.
I feel like you're going to start having a real tough time from here. I don't feel like there's a lot of guys left you really like.
There is, because I can hurt Joey just as much as this. I'm taking Paige.
Oh!
My girl. We'll trade later, you know. We'll talk trade.
Wow. That was back-to-back jabs right there.
Some real jabs thrown.
I don't like this 3 NXT rule.
No?
No.
How many you have? You have the one?
I have 3. I
Yeah.
got Joey.
You have all 3 already?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he got
You have
American
all 3
Alpha.
already? You fitting them up?
American Alpha, so we got both of those guys.
Yeah, we're starting to thin out a little here. I got options. I guess I'll go.
You'll go Buddy Murphy?
Buddy Murphy, I'll go Gotch, Simon Gotch.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. This guy slipped this whole time.
Who do we got?
The underdog from the underground. Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I thought somebody was
Damn.
going to pick him like 10 picks ago.
I completely forgot about him.
And KO and Sammy ended up split up, just like we've been saying all this time.
Again, building up my tag team division, I'll just go Aiden Gotch. I got 3
All
solid
right.
tag teams right now.
Aiden English.
Aiden, I said Aiden Gotch.
Well, I thought you were saying Aiden and Gotch.
Yeah, I kind of was, but
All
let's go with that.
right, who's next for Mr. Tuesday Night?
Luke Harper.
All right, the 2 key members of the Wyatt family
There's
sticking
some
together.
sleepers down here in the draft, folks.
Getting sleepy in the draft here. Let's go Dolph.
I have Dolph.
Oh,
Yeah, you
do?
got
Already
picked.
picked. Already picked.
Fine. Maybe you wrote,
4
wrote it
rounds
down.
ago.
Maybe if you wrote it down, I'd know.
4 5 rounds ago, maybe.
So wait. Nah, I can't do that, can I?
Job Ziggler, yeah.
No, I was talking about something else.
Aaron Zigler's gonna make something.
Would you shut your mouth? I'll take Rusev.
Woo.
Rusev crush.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'm taking Emma.
Another good pick.
Kind of have no women's division on my side.
That's exactly how I wanted it. I wanted the women to be exclusive to one show.
Pash, are you getting a show you like better right now, looking at the two? Not that you have to reveal that yet, but... which ones are
No,
worse?
but I do like the way both rosters look.
2 totally different shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what the madness wanted.
Like there's
You'd almost think I told these guys what to do beforehand.
the one is the indie show, kind of the high flyers. And
Yeah.
everything, the
Do we still got a
commercial things.
Paulo available?
He is available.
Let's go Paulo Cruz.
That was my next pick.
I'm in your head today.
That was my next pick.
That's a sleeper down there.
What's A-Lo SmackDown going to be without a movie star? The Miz!
The Miz!
Wow.
The funny thing is, you guys both actually like The Miz.
Yeah. I'll go, let's go Baron Corbin. He's gonna be,
Dang, I forgot about him.
he's gonna be fighting, Apollo Crews right off the bat.
Yeah. A lot of stories that could be told with these rosters. Now we got to do a writer search next show.
Well, to build my women's division, I'm gonna go with Nikki Bella.
All right.
Bella.
Did Cena lobby to you to take her and keep her on the same show?
That's the only way he agreed to suck a bury him.
Now, are we allowed to go a little more than 3 NXT, or are we just sticking to 3?
You can, yeah, stick to the 3.
Stick to the 3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alo committed to 3. He was upset. He wanted more. So
I'm just clarifying the
why
rules.
don't you pick Job Ziggler again there, Joey?
I'll pick the Big Jar Mayo.
Who?
Sheamus.
Shingles? All right.
What's that? We're up to 20?
He should be at 21.
So let's say we'll do 25 picks each.
Okay, that's fine. All right, well, this guy's going to come around once a year to boost up my ratings. The Undertaker.
Wow.
Let's go crazy.
Oh,
That's not my pick.
I thought that's what you were taking.
Yeah, crazy.
You're taking super crazy.
Super crazy. Can I do that? Well, since I got a solid tag division, I'll try and keep up with that. I'll go with either or of the Usos, Jimmy or Jay.
Never know which one's which. All right. Mr. Tuesday Night back on the clock.
Mr. Clicking the Channel.
He's
on the
Becky Lynch.
Keeping the women.
got 3 of the 4 horsewomen.
I think it's kind of obvious where I'm going based off my last pick.
Mm-hmm. Jay?
I got the Usos. I got my tag division
All right,
shaping
so
up really nicely.
We're up to what? 20? That was the
23.
22nd?
20. Yeah, I'm on 23 now.
All right, we'll say this then. There's 6 picks left. However, whoever you want to take from NXT could still be on the board at this point.
Whoa! A
All right.
curveball! A
All
last
right.
minute curveball. Oh, man.
Hey, we
Man.
want some Bayley.
Man is throwing curveballs.
I'm going to go
That's what madness does.
Dash.
Ill. You want people to go to sleep during your show?
I'm building a solid tag division. Where's your tag division at, bro?
What's your women's division?
Well, man,
Women's wrestling.
man said he kind of.
Women's wrestling.
You went with the big names first. Man said he kind of wanted them all in one show, so I didn't want to.
All right, we're up to 23. So 4 picks left in the draft.
Joey.
Mhm.
Oh, is it my go?
You're up.
24.
Number 24.
Interesting. Wake up, Joey.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna go with. I need a good marker.
A good hand. You need a good, the classic good hand.
Perfect 10.
His entrance is awesome.
Yeah, it is. I like that pick.
Go Wilder. Again, building my tag division. You got the women's division, I got the tag division.
Yeah, all my dreams have been coming true with this whole thing. All right, 1 pick left for each team. Who's Mr. Tuesday Night taking with his final selection?
All right. This is a history-making moment here. With the final pick in the draft. Slim pickings. I'm going to go with Austin Aries.
Wow.
Nice. That's a nice pick.
That's the first thing that made me upset all night.
With your apology.
All right, now I'm happy.
Yeah.
You'll sign into a contract just to make him
Or
apologize.
Cena's going to get buried there. Aries is gonna apologize for the rest of the year.
He opens the show cutting an apology promo every week.
The apology tour. So Joey's last pick, right? This is Mr. Irrelevant. Right?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, it's the
Irrelevant.
final pick of the draft.
So since it's Mr. Irrelevant, I'll go with some irrelevancy. Heath Slater.
All right, Heathy baby.
Heathy baby.
Just sneaking in.
Oh, wow.
Give somebody a job.
My thoughts exactly.
All right, so Monday Night Raw, the flagship program, drafted by Mr. Sexy Punakana, Joe Rottermill, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Big Cass, Enzo Amore, Neville, Cesaro, Carl Anderson, Gallows, Alberto Del Rio, Tyler Breeze, Simon Gotch, Aiden English, Rusev, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Sheamus, aptly described as the, what did you say, the human jar of man?
Big jar of man.
Big jar of man. Jimmy and Jay Uso, Dash and Dawson, and Heath Slater. So Raw contains all of the independent, well, most of the independent darlings and the tag team division. SmackDown, as drafted by Mr. Tuesday Night, ALO, Aaron Lloyd,
Listen in, man.
consists of Seth Rollins, John Cena, Brock
The show
Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Charlotte, Samoa Joe, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Bray Wyatt, Chad Gable, Jordan, Paige, Sami Zayn, Luke Harper, Emma, The Miz, Nikki Bella, Undertaker, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Ty Dillinger, and Austin Aries. The most notable omission is Xavier Woods. Nobody had any love for Xavier.
I thought he was going to pick up match. I didn't want to split up the New Day.
Hey, I will say...
That's the gold about it, because you have to do that sometime.
You're right. So all the women end up on one show. All of these super big names that never lose matches are all on one show. So I got almost everything I wanted out of this whole thing. So thank you to both of you for participating in the Raw SmackDown Fantasy / mock draft. We'll probably post this on the Facebook page at some point. Maybe some people could give their opinions on who they'd like to see go where.
So, I mean, just so you know, my first 2 matches to push my show with the title match, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and then I'm going to follow it out with a triple threat match with KO, Nakamura, and Y2J. Just saying.
Well, I got the Indie Mark / India and Pakistan slobber knocker. Roman Reigns versus John Cena.
Heads will be exploding.
They'll be exploding.
He's got to stay away from the drugs.
They will.
And then I got that always there Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose.
So who are you booking as your first champion?
My first champion.
Or will Seth Rollins take the belt to Raw?
Seth Rollins, he'll take the belt to
Okay.
SmackDown.
And Joey, who are you booking as your first champion?
Like I said, I have the match set, but I think it's going to be AJ Styles. He's going to be carrying the title with help from the club.
So now I love this whole thing even more. because those are the two guys I'd like to see hold the 2 championships first. So again, thank you to Alo. Thank you to CK and Joe for participating in the draft. Thank you to our listeners in the United States, India, Pakistan, the Philippines, wherever you are. This is the last time we'll ever be talking about a taped SmackDown on the show. Next week, we will actually have draft results to talk about. We'll have the Cruiserweight Classic to talk about. It will be a jam-packed show. So again, thank you for listening. For Alo Aaron Lloyd, for Mr. Sexy Joe Rottermill, I am Ron Pashery. Take care. We'll see you next week.